Alright, you guys, Barcelona beat Elche 3-1 to open a 4-point gap ahead of Real Madrid in La Liga. But let me tell you, it really could have been so much more, and we have to talk about it. But first, if this is your first time coming across one of my videos, hi guys, I am Just Max, and on this channel, I talk about football from La Liga, Prem, UCL, and of course, it's always going to be Visca Barca for me. If this is something that you are interested in, please stick around, be my friend, be my homie. I would love to discuss football with you and grow this channel. But we have to talk about what we have just seen from Barcelona, because despite the win, despite the fact that Barcelona get all 3 points, despite the fact that it was an entertaining game, I'm left feeling a little bit disappointed from what I have seen from the guys today. Not because they did not perform, but because they performed that they underperformed. It will make sense when I explain it. But let's take a look at the lineup that Hansi Flick started out with today, and then we can talk about, some of the things I noticed in this game. First, it was Joan Garcia in goal. Another solid performance from the goalkeeper, who is making that number 1 position his own. He saved us when we needed to be saved, but he did let in a goal, but no problems there. Alejandro Balde in left back, and let me tell you, I lived for Alejandro Balde. I think for the last 2-3 videos now, I've been saying, yeah, he didn't do great, he didn't do bad, he was just kind of there. Today, Alejandro Balde reminded folks that he is indeed Alejandro Balde. The way he was carrying the ball forward, his combination plays, and the fact that the Elche defender just could not pinpoint him out across the pitch, 10 over 10, I live for him. He was sensational. Eric Garcia, Pau Kubasi in that middle of the back for Barcelona, and I think it was a sensational pairing from both of them. I thought Pau Kubasi had a very, very magnificent performance leading the back line for Barcelona. He did making some very, very good tackles. Eric Garcia too was very crucial in ensuring that we did not drop points. He made some very last-ditch tackles. The first goal, though, he was a little bit late in tackling the player, but it doesn't matter. He had a good performance. Those last-ditch tackles, especially in the second half, I left for him. Koundé, the first half was a little bit weird from him because he was pinned back a lot by Elche. He couldn't join the attack a lot more because he had to be way more focused on defending. But he did well when he was called in to defend. And then when he started to get into the game a little bit more and become a little bit freer in attack, I felt like he did some combinations with Lamine Yamal and certainly put in a few boxes and recovered a few balls that made Barcelona's attack a little bit more potent. Unfortunately, we had a very potent attack today, but our, the way we executed it just didn't come together, in my opinion, for me. Now I'm going to move to the midfield and all the people that pissed me off in this game, despite the fact that we won. Now I'm going to start with Fermin Lopez. Now, you guys know I live for Fermin Lopez. I love me some Fermin Lopez. Fermin Lopez, in my mind, is the best attacking midfielder out there. Every time that Fermin Lopez has an opportunity to take a shot, I want Fermin Lopez to take a shot. But not today. Fermin Lopez was incredibly wasteful. He did not have direction. It's like when we were kids, when you used to play these video games of football on your phone, before you take a shot, you hit direction so that you can, get the goal. Yeah, today Fermin Lopez was just kind of shooting without hitting direction, and it was just kind of pissing me off. Frankie de Jong, oh, what a master. You are a master of your craft. Today he was sublime. Today he was sensational. Today he was magnificent. Today he was good. He was beyond. Like when they say Frankie de Jong thinks through the game, he does think through the game. The way he defends, the way he recovers ball, the way he passes the ball, the way he advances the play. I don't want to make this video a Frankie de Jong glazing session, but just let me tell you, if you did not watch this game today, it was a Frankie de Jong masterclass, and that's just all I'm going to say. Dani Olmo finding Lamine Yamal to open the goal for Barcelona. That's in the first half. Top team. But also I love this combination play throughout the midfield. He was integral in ensuring that Barcelona was able to recover the ball. Although I would have loved to see a little bit more attacking bites from him, but it's alright, it's okay. Rafinha, he's my favorite player in Barcelona. He starts on the left-hand side for Barcelona. Unfortunately, he did have to come out at halftime because he's injured or carrying a knock, but that did not stop him from running, from pressing, and I certainly thought he did have 2 opportunities where I wanted him to take the shots on himself, but he elected to pass the ball, and I thought that those were not the right options. Ferran Torres, the bane of my existence today, was the one that was leading Barcelona's line. And the fact that Ferran Torres has only scored one goal in this match is the reason why I'm upset. Ferran Torres should have scored 5, but I will come back for him. Lamine Yamal was man of the match in this game, starting on the right-hand side of the pitch. And as always, he just kept on doing Lamine Yamal things. He was dancing, he was sensational, he was dribbling, he was advancing the ball, he was putting in crosses. I thought that his wing was the most deadly wing for Barcelona in that first half. And certainly the reason why I thought that Barcelona should have finished the first half with at least 5 goals. But now let's go into what we saw from Barcelona in the match. Starting the match, I thought that they started the match very well. I was watching the game. Within the first 5 minutes, I said that this was going to be fun. The reason I knew that it was going to be fun was because Elche like to play. They don't want to sit back in a low block. They model their kind of football behind Barcelona's kind of football. So it was always going to be end to end. It's not that kind of low block things that we tend to see when we play lower division team. This is a team that prides themselves in possession-based football. So it was always going to be which midfield was going to be able to conquer the day. And it certainly was no mistake that within the first 5 minutes or within the first 6 minutes that Barcelona was going to be able to open the goal scoring. Again, it was from midfield straight into attack. Barcelona finds the ball with Dani Olmo, who spots Lamine Yamal out wide, and then he places an inch perfect pass to Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal takes the ball, rounds in Iñaki Peña, which was very disrespectful. I lived for it, and then was able to find the back of the net. Very sensational. I think that was the goal that woke up Elche, because it was like they did not expect to go behind, and then I thought that they woke up and they started to press a little bit better. I think that this game, if I could characterize it to be games that had like setting a bit of runs here and there. There were moments where I felt like Barcelona were definitely on top, and there were moments where I felt like Elche were definitely on top. And certainly after Barcelona scored, Elche, they woke up and they started to like play a bit more of their game. In playing a bit more of the game though, it opened up the pitch for Barcelona, and this is where my frustration, it just kept coming, because everything that was happening today, Barcelona played some of the best beautiful attacking football, and Elche played their part too, no doubt to the others. You know, they put together some sensational stuff, but just that last bit of a finish, it was lacking. We had moments where, you know, the final pass was just a bit too long for Rafinha to stretch onto it and get something. Or we had Rafinha who, you know, just a ball from midfield into him, you know, and he's running and he's dribbling, you know, he's doing the skills. And then the final pass where I thought, Rafinha, just why are you passing? Why are you trying to square the ball into the box? I saw you take this kind of like a powerful angled shot against, I want to say, Athletic Bilbao in the Super Copa. So certainly you could do that. You could take that shot on, well, I don't know why he elected to pass, and he did that twice, and that kind of frustrated me, because once the ball goes central, there's always a defender out there to cut it out, or the move just kind of swivels out. And then there's a situation with Ferran Torres where Ferran Torres had it was an ample load of opportunities. The one that frustrates me the most with Ferran Torres is the fact that he missed a double open net. Like, it just doesn't get worse than that. Like, you miss a double open net to like put Barcelona ahead 2-0 and call it a day, and he did not do that. And it was so frustrating for me, and it does come back to bite us, the fact that we weren't taking these chances, because Elche too, for their own part, like I mentioned earlier, this was a game that had runs, and they certainly were trying to find moments where they can break Barcelona's highline, and a few moments they have been caught offside. But I thought that they finally found the right formula when Alvaro Rodriguez on the 29th minute kind of runs in from midfield. The Barcelona defenders were tracking the two attacking players, so they had, you know, successfully made sure that those two were offside, but he kind of runs in from deep. He latches onto the ball. It's a 1v1 opportunity against Joan Garcia, who doesn't save it. It's okay, it kind of happens, you know. Sometimes you save shots, sometimes you don't save shots. It's all right. Barcelona are now pegged back. It's 1-1. I'm very frustrated because, like I said, we could have really been 5-0 up at this point, and we keep on playing our game. We keep on creating opportunities. I think Fermin Lopez had 2 chances that should have been a goal before halftime, and then he really skies it. And Fermin Lopez is the guy that's known for, you know, being, you know, shot happy, being, you know, and today he just wasn't. It just wasn't there. And I'm not going to kid you, like, I was starting to have flashbacks about what we saw from Barcelona when we visited Real Sociedad in our last away game in La Liga, in that we had an ample load of shots, we had an ample load of opportunities, but we still end up losing the game 2-1, especially because we could not convert the chances that were coming to us. Fortunately for Barcelona, though, we did go into halftime leading. It was 2-1 thanks to a goal by Ferran Torres, which was largely created by Frankie de Jong. Frankie de Jong today, I felt like he had a magnificent performance. He was sensational. The Elche defenders, they were stuck to him like glue, but it doesn't make any difference because Frankie de Jong, much like Pedri, when he's ready to play, when he's turned on, when he's excited, he is press resistant. And the way he was just able to swivel around the pitch today, he just kept on throwing the Elche defenders for a loop. And this move to open up Ferran Torres was no difference. He gets a ball over the top, and I want to say it's from Ferran Torres. He then goes round to Iñaki Peña, which, by the way, Iñaki Peña was rounded quite a lot today. I don't know what was going on with him, but I only say this with love because he's a Barcelona loanee to Elche. Like, you need to fix that shit. Don't anyway, he rounds Iñaki Peña, slips Iñaki Peña on the ground, slips the defender, and then has the presence of mind to see that, the angle's a bit too tight for me. Passes the ball back to Ferran Torres, who does a very good chip to make sure that this time it does stick. And Barcelona go 2-1 ahead of Elche. And honestly, I was living for it because finally, one of the 11 chances that we created has finally hit the back of the net. Not too long after that, we did have another chance, and it was Ferran Torres who had done everything right, rounded Iñaki Peña again, has an open net to aim at, and somehow hits a very weak shot. To be fair, he kind of the ball was getting away from him, fumbles the shot a little bit, and it gives the defender, an opportunity to clear the ball off the line. Very frustrating for me. Barcelona going to halftime 2-1. It's okay, but again, with a slender kind of lead like this, and the way that our back line is kind of fragile, it's really not the best. We want to have another cushion goal just to give us a little bit of safety, especially as we want to win this game to open up that 4-point gap ahead of Real Madrid before Real Madrid play tomorrow against Rayo Vallecano. We come into the second half, it's more of the same, a lot of pressure, and very good pressure, if I should say so myself. On my TikTok just now, I said Barcelona could have scored 20, and I'm not even exaggerating. In this match, Barcelona had 28 shots, 10 of those on target, but I put it to you that 20 of those could have resulted in goals. 20 of those. So it was just characteristic of how incredibly wasteful that we were today in the match. Marcus Rashford comes in at halftime for Rafinha, and he too had a 1v1 opportunity that he missed. We had opportunities from Lewandowski too that just didn't materialize because the ball was stuck underneath his foot. He did end up coming in for Ferran Torres, I forgot to say earlier. And it was just more of the same. It was more of the same. Elche too were pressing, and they tried to create a few chances of their own. Thankfully, Joan Garcia, when called into action, he was able to prevent any mishap or misstep. It was only until the 72nd minute that we really could breathe that sigh of relief, and it was from a moment of pure magic from Lamine Yamal. The crossfield pass is played to him. Technically, the ball is going out of play. Lamine Yamal just finds the athleticism, is that the word? And he just kind of prevents the ball with a header from going out, steadies himself, takes the ball very purposefully. He's in on goal. He beats all the Elche defenders, goes to the byline in the box, makes the right decision to clear the ball in the box. It finds the defender, first of all, intercepts the ball, but luckily for us, it finds Rashford, who just readjusts himself a little bit to put the ball in the roof of the net. And at this point, Barcelona can finally breathe a sigh of relief. All in all, I am happy that we have finally won this game. It's 3-1, but it really could have been so much more. I guess that's the difference when you talk about Barcelona versus Real Madrid, or others even, not just Real Madrid. Whereas other team or other fan bases would have just been happy to win this game and keep it pushing. I'm happy that we won, but the way we have won, I felt like we could have gotten a little bit more from this game, which we have just not done because we didn't take our chances. And Hansi Flick, he was not happy. So it's not like I'm just being greedy. I think across the fan base today, we weren't happy about it. And just to highlight a little bit of Ferran Torres a little bit, I hate to bring a player, when they don't do well, but at the same time, we have to talk about it, right? When you talk about the fact that Ferran Torres is Barcelona's number 9, it's ridiculous to me. He cannot be Barcelona's number 9, only because I feel like he's not clinical enough. For every one chance that Ferran Torres scores for Barcelona, he misses 5. and that's not a very good return on investment for me. I need a player, I need a striker that is going to score every 1 in 2 chance, not every 1 in 5 chances. Like I promise you, if you've watched Barcelona games or you've just been a casual watcher, you probably would not get it, because when you go on the statistics and you find out that Ferran Torres is Barcelona's leading goal scorer with 16 goals in all competitions this season, you're like, what are you talking about? But for how many chances that Ferran Torres regularly misses, if he scores those chances, Mbappe is not seeing the Pichichi. Mbappe is not seeing the golden boot. It's just what it is. Like, honestly, who is Mbappe where Ferran Torres is if he was able to get clinical? So I think over the summer, one of the things that Ferran Torres really needs to think about and work on is his finishing skills. Like, we don't want a player who's going to score 1 in 6, 1 in 7, 1 in 8 chances. We want a player who's going to score 1 in 2. And that's what separates the good players from the great players. A Haaland, for example, in this match would have bagged a quintuple, and that's on period. Like Mbappe would have bagged a quintuple, and that's on period. But Ferran Torres has finished this match with just 1 goal. And it's okay, but it's not great. And then we look at the people who stood out to me in this match today. And again, it's Frenkie de Jong and Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal, because he was just incredibly mercurial. The runs that he was making, the dances that he was putting together, he was just sensational. It was just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful display from a very, very talented teenager. Frenkie de Jong, for the way he was able to control the midfield in adverse circumstances, and that assist that he provides for Ferran Torres is top tier assist. The way that he like eliminated the goalkeeper and the defender from the test board, it was just sensational. Loved those from him. I know this doesn't get enough recognition because again, being a defender is a 10 clerk's job. I want to highlight Pau Kubasi because this is an 18-year-old kid, a 19-year-old kid now, who is just basically running and marshalling the Barcelona backline every week in, week out without any kind of mentorship, just doing his best under the radar. So I wanted to take the moment to spotlight him because I thought he did have a good game today. But that has been it for me. If you've watched up to this point, let me know what you thought about this game and who stood out to you in the comment section. And of course, don't hesitate to like, subscribe, and share. And definitely, I would appreciate that comment, of course. But until next time.